What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Yesterday, I did not actually get to the window with anything. The under that I talked about would have been pretty good, but didn't do anything yesterday. So, 4 games here today. We do have much more to choose from. Vino, it's great to be back with you. How's everything? Did you get involved yesterday?
I did not. I stayed clear. And I don't know if it would have been good or bad, Ski, because I really didn't have firm opinions on that game. So it was interesting. Liberty's been really good against the Aces recent history. So we'll see what happens in their next matchup. But spotless day yesterday. We are involved today already. So we'll look to have a good day today.
Let's do it. And yeah, I feel a little bit better today. I didn't feel the greatest maybe yesterday or the day before, but today, feeling like back to usual. So, first up, we'll go Mercury and Fever opened up minus 7.5. Looks like 9 pretty much everywhere. Total opened up 175.5. We'll call that still the consensus. As far as the injury report, you have Makani, Natasha Mack, Sammy Whitcomb, and Meljic all out. For Indiana, looks like everybody's going to be available. I mean, Caitlin Clark is probable every single game. So should have everybody there. These teams did play the other day. If you watched, it got a little chip, maybe more than a little chippy. Um, I think some words were said from Alyssa Thomas and Maisha took an exception. Then we have Bonner going at her old teammate Sophie Cunningham. I love the excellent troll job by Sophie though. I have to say it was excellent troll job by her. Um, yeah, Fever in that game started off 6 points in the first quarter, and they still win the game by what, like double digits. I mean, you can't beat the Fever when they start off with 6 points in the first quarter. When are you going to win? This Mercury team has not been good all year. They've probably been a disappointment of the league. And yeah, they beat the Storm, but who's not beating the Storm nowadays? I, I can't help but think, the Fever can win this one by margin again. I think they'll care. I think everybody will care after how last game went. But the Fever are better. The Fever are at home. Only other thing I'll mention though, Fever's defense isn't the best. I do usually say I don't like to, expect teams without the best defense to win by this big of a margin. Maybe it's just Fever team total. I mean, if they just have a normal start, they probably get over last game. Any thoughts from you, Vino?
A lot of the same. A lot of the same here. And then when you minus Natasha Mack from the lineup, I just wonder to myself, Phoenix is small to begin with. Now what? I mean, how are they possibly going to defend the front line of Indiana? And to your point, a 6 point first quarter and a 15-point fourth quarter. They only scored 21 points in two quarters combined, yet they got to 86. So when you're staring at 92 and a half tonight, you have to believe that Indiana, especially now again with the additional factor that Mac is out of the lineup, that they can get to 93. They average 92 and a half a game. So they didn't make any threes in that game. Skee. Indiana, just to go through numbers I use, in that game, they potentially could have scored 191 points if everything went through the hoop. They only got to 86. A lot of that was due to bad 3 point shooting. They're only 10 of 34, 29% from three. You have to figure that comes up a little bit here. Both Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark were 3 of 10 in that game. Not really good. So many reasons why you would have to expect Indiana to score. I mean, we're asking them to get to their average, 1 point above their average against this team, which has not been good defensively. As far as the point spread's concerned, it's hard not to look at Indiana. I know we talked about it the other day. I said the exact same thing you just said. Hard to trust Indiana's defense to cover a big number, but they won by 9, and 9 is what they have to win by tonight to cover 8.5. So if you can win by 9 with everything that went against them in that game the other night, and now minus Natasha Mack from the lineup, it's hard for me to see or hard for me to talk anybody off of either one of those. Indiana side, Indiana team total over. I prefer, just because it's me, Indiana team total over.
I think we could be in agreement on that. Good stuff on that game. We'll move over to Lynx and Mystics. Opened up minus 8.5 for Minnesota. I thought I saw a different number, but this says 8.5 here. Looks like 9. or 9.5, depending where you shop. Total did open 167, and that has went up as high as 169.5 out there. For Minnesota, looks like they're pretty healthy. Washington, I don't see anybody on the injury report as well. Good to see them healthy. They've been playing good basketball. Um, they've been dogs, and they've been winning some of these games outright. The Lynx are off of a loss. I do always like to look at them in this situation. Can't ignore, can't ignore how good Washington's been playing lately. So at home, catching that 9, it is a bit appealing. Um, can they beat the Lynx 2 times in a row? Maybe it's just a bad matchup for the Lynx. I mean, and the Mystics are playing good. So I think I'd have to go with the points here, As much as you know, as much as I respect the Lynx off of a loss, this is not a situation where I can take them. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if you knee jerk react to this game, then you're on Minnesota, right? You're one of the you're some of the money that ran to the window and played Minnesota just because it was a huge upset loss. Olivia Miles took a little bit of the heat for end of game non-execution on an inbounds play, but they were never going to cover that game anyway. They were ahead at halftime, and Washington just outplayed them second half. And like you say, Washington's been playing really good. I'm critical more often than not about their backcourt scoring, which seems to be Sonia Citron and nobody else. But somehow they're getting it done recently, and the front court is that good. The three up front really are that good. So we'll see. Minnesota, not a team to lose as a 14-point favorite on their home floor, and then not take exception to that when they're playing the very same team the next day or 2 days later. I guess this one's in Washington rather than in Minnesota. So you get to go to Washington. Becomes a little bit of a dilemma for me, Skee. I wonder if it'll be higher scoring than it was, but Washington, one more time, Washington games this year produced the least amount of field goal attempts of any team in the league. So you don't get that many opportunities or as many opportunities in Washington games to score. So you better shoot it well and you better keep them off the free throw line because Washington's been great at getting to the free throw line. And they don't make all of their free throws, but they do enough there. So the number to me seems a little bit high now at 9. I think I could have gotten involved maybe earlier. All that being said, Skee, the power ratings I keep for the WNBA show me that on the road, Minnesota should only be 5 over Washington. So I don't want to bet against that. I think that there's a lot of built into. You talked about this the other day, right? When stuff is already built into the line, and that upset victory is probably was built in to begin with in the opener and has been carried even further. Probably makes it a tough bet if you're on Minnesota here. So I'm going to pass on this one. I tried to find a way to make the total work, and the total has gone up a couple of points, 67 to 69. But again, I'm just leery of Washington games because they don't provide a lot of or as many scoring opportunities as other teams in this league. I know Minnesota can run up numbers, but probably best to stay away.
Right, Fire and Sky. This one is the one opened up -2. Now out is 3.5 at most shops. Total is going from 169.5 to 171.5. Carla and Carly, both game time decision for Portland. Natasha, game time decision. Dejanay and Sloop, both out for the Sky. The Sky, the what are they? How many? They've lost, what, 6 games in a row, I think? And they are -3.5 tonight. They opened -2. They're pushed up to 3.5. They're saying that, they're going to get some effort in. They should get a win, get on the right track here. The Sky, here's my thing. Sky, we're kind of like playing games close versus some solid opponents, good opponents, and just coming up a little short. And so it felt like in their last game versus the Sun, that should be the game where they finally break through and win because the Sun are a bottom feeder too. You know what I'm saying? But no, they get blown off the court by the Connecticut Sun, and I just can't. Yeah, just I don't know. How can I trust them after that? That's how I feel. Like like, granted, Portland is another team that I don't trust, and if they're missing their point guard, that's a huge loss. Um, but just Chicago, it's just hard to push that button. I guess gun in my head, I would take Chicago just because I feel like they're favored for a reason. But I can't tell anybody to go do that with their money and feel good about myself. you know, what are you doing in this one?
It's such a tough game, Ski, because I had a you could say I had a full page of notes written on this game, and most of them are negative for both teams, right? But you hit on what I think is the most important piece of this game is that Carla Light. I hear it pronounced. I'm not French. I don't know which way to pronounce it, but I watch these games. Some people call her Carla Light. Some people call her Carla Late. I don't know, but she is the only key to the ignition for this offense. Like if she doesn't play point, they lead the league in turnover percentage with her at point. Without her, you can only imagine. I mean, Chicago doesn't force a ton of turnovers, but tonight's a good night for Skylar Diggins and company to get up on somebody and take the ball away because I don't know where they're going as far as point guard is concerned. She's also a scoring point guard, which takes away from Portland. They haven't played in 7 days, Ski. And you know how we feel with these 7 day absences, and especially you have travel with it. Um, are they gonna they won their last game? Are they gonna bring that with them? Are they gonna be rusty? They're not a good shooting team to begin with. Throw in 7 days off. The problem with saying all of that is that Chicago's defense stinks, right? So who knows? I mean, Chicago, for whatever reason, you have Cardoso and Azare, and you're last in the league in offensive rebound percentage. Now, the good news for them is Portland's last in defensive rebound percentage. So, like I say, I got this page full of notes that says both of these teams stink. And I feel like because I'm a bounce back guy, Chicago's numbers in that game against Connecticut are almost unreal. Like you can't shoot this bad. You can't go 17 of 73 from the field.
Historically low.
It's just terrible. 4 of 30 from three. And they had been playing really good offense up until that point because they play with pace. Like you said, they played good teams. They scored well. They kept it close. I just have this feeling that their offense will come back in this game against this team, trusting them to get to 88. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I could see myself doing it. But I can't find a good way to play Portland other than Chicago's just so bad rebounding and defensively that maybe their interior. Megan Gustafson's been really good at center for Portland. But man, Cardosa and Azare should dominate here. So I don't know. I can see why people are betting Chicago, honestly. Lousy team, but playing a team where you can make a good case against them. Maybe Chicago team total over is where I'll leave this 87.5.
Yeah, for me, it's sky or nothing for me. As bad as they've been, I think they're favorite for a reason here. All right. Last game on the slate. Dream and Valkyries opened up -1 for Atlanta, now -2. Pretty much everywhere. Total open 160, 64.5. And it looks like 166 at a lot of shops. 165.5. Injury report, nobody on there for Golden State. For Atlanta, still no Bree and Aaliyah Nye out once again. Dream playing good basketball. They've won, I think, 4 in a row. We've talked about, them playing faster, and that's why the offenses look pretty good. That's why they're probably winning some games, having some of that success. They come against a Valkyries team who coming off back-to-back losses, I believe. Um, and Valkyries don't like to play fast here, So I'm curious how you feel about that. I know you're a big total guy. I mean, Dream, you know what they're doing with their pace lately. Valkyries slowest pace in the league, one of the better defenses. What do you think prevails here?
I'm probably against the grain here, Ski, and I didn't play, but I kind of like Golden State in this game. I think everything Golden State does, in all honesty, is what Atlanta does as well. Atlanta's a pretty good defensive team, especially out on the perimeter. Golden State D's up. I mean, when you have Gabby Williams and Ryan Howard on opposite sides of the floor, you have two of the best wing defenders in the league. Golden State's coach, Nakasi, has said, and I've repeated it a couple of times. They just hang their hat on defense. They come off losses, as you mentioned, to Minnesota and Las Vegas. They've played a fairly tough schedule recently. Dallas, Minnesota, Las Vegas. The Dallas game had some very, very exterior cup ramifications. Didn't turn out to be anything because Las Vegas clinched it themselves. But Dallas, Minnesota, Las Vegas, pretty good trio. Now you get Atlanta off of playing Indiana's lousy defense, 2 games, and then winning again against Toronto's lousy defense, facing a team that's going to D up. So I don't know that Atlanta's shots are going to fall the way they have the last 3 games. And I also don't know that they'll be able to play with the pace that they want to play with, simply because Golden State is the slowest team in the league. And they generally get it their way at home. I think you made this point a week ago or so. Where Golden State's concerned, it's do their threes fall or not. If their threes are falling, they're going to beat you at home, especially. If they're not falling, they won't. Atlanta hasn't been the best 3-point defense in the league. I don't know. I see this number go up, and I'm so tempted to take the home underdog here, and I still might. I don't have a real lean toward total in this game, but sidewise, I think Golden State off back-to-back losses against the competition that they play, 2 of the best in the W. I think they could probably cover this number 2.5.
I agree with that. And just something that you said stood out to me. You know, we know Atlanta's going to play fast. And Golden State, even though they play slow, very heavy 3 reliant. And they're coming off a game where they shot, what they shoot? I forget how bad. Is that the team that shot 17% from 3? It's either them or they shot 17 or 20-something% from 3. It was terrible either way.
Yeah, I got you. It was 16.7, 5 of 30.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're going to get some positive regression at home. And if you get that, and at least, the Dream try to push some pace. I don't know if, the Valkyries will allow them to at home if they can control the pace. But if you get some of those threes going in, this total could go over. All right. Good stuff. That will wrap it up. We went through the 4 games for today. I think we did a pretty good job. Before we do best bets, let's do some of that good old promo that we do around here. We'll do 2 for today. How about that? We still have the buy 3, get 3 free. If you want to rock with us for 6 days, that comes out to just $69. Can choose either. You say, maybe I don't like Skee. I only want Rob's picks, so you know what he's talking about. You want this one. But if you want both of our pages, you could also go to this one. You get both of us. It's all access. 3 days for $69. So you can choose one of us for 6 days, or you can choose both of us for 3 days. Same price. And Veno, I'm gonna need your help. What were we? 17-3.
Yes.
Was it past 9-10 days or so? Something like that. So we've been seeing things clear, and I think those are 2 good ways to get involved. So on that note, Veno, I'll ask you if there's anything else you'd like to promote. Feel free, and if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, all good.
Yeah, I'll over promote that combo package, the 2 of us, because people might tune in and say, why the hell does Skee have that idiot on every single day? All he talks about is over. So you may want Skee, but you'll get me with it. So we've both been good, like you say. Skee 17-3 combination over the last 9 days, 85% winners. And the schedule looks pretty good today. Good enough to where I will leave everybody with a best bet here. I'm going to go back to the first game we talked about, the Indiana team total over 92.5. Pretty much described why I like it. I think we're both in kind of agreement as to the fact that they should get to their average this season and maybe 1 point above, which is what we need to get a win here. So for me, it's going to be Indiana team total over 92.5.
All right, good stuff. I will leave it right there because, I'm rocking right now with my 5% play for today. And maybe I add something else. Maybe I don't. But been seeing it well lately. Season, year's been good. We'll try to keep it going here today with the 5% winner. So, Veno, I agree with your pick. That's one we'll leave for the show. I appreciate you always taking the time to cap the games. Helps my process. I'm sure you help everybody else out there as well. Chat, you're much appreciated. Best of luck to all of you on all your action. We'll be back again tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys then.